All right, what up? Therapy time. This one's about the homie and shit. I ain't seen him in a while, man. I'm thinking about him sometimes. We call that nigga Survivor. And I'm gonna tell you why we call him Survivor and shit. Now I went there, that's what he tell me and shit. Cause I asked him, he was an SA and shit. He used to hang out at the park at VNSO Park and kicking his shit, smoke with us, you know, fucking chill up there by the basketball courts and shit and chill. That was the homie. Fucking. So one day, everyone calls him Survivor and shit. So I'm thinking that's his name. Come to find out, he like, nah, from his hood where he was from, he got a whole nother name. He like, nah, that's not what they call me. He was like, that's just what the motherfuckers been calling me up here at the park. I'm like, oh. I'm like, why the fuck they call you that? He was like, you don't know? I was like, nah. Fucking. So he tell me one night, he coming from the club, he partying. He said he was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 deep or something like that. Not even that, like three or 4 deep. Excuse. So they clubbing and shit, him and his homeboys, his peoples. And they end up over there at the Tommy's on I think it's Roscoe and like Van Nuys by the Budweiser spot. And fucking right across the street from the Budweiser brewery. So anyways, he said he up there, they eating this shit. Next thing he know, it's like 3, 4 carloads of his enemies or some other hood pull up. They get the exchanging words and shit, and a big old melee break out. He said they going at it, but he said they outnumber like 3-1, 4-1. So while he fighting off, he said he trying to fight off these 3 motherfuckers. Nah, let me take that. It had to be. He said it had to be like 2-3. I mean, like either 3-1 or 2-1 or 3-1. He said like 3 or 4. He said it was like 12 of them and like 3 or 4 of his homies. So like yeah, like 3-4. Shit. Let's say 3-1. So he said he fighting off these couple motherfuckers. Cause when I remember asking him like, so you was fighting 2 motherfuckers. He was like, nah, nigga. He was like 3 or 4 motherfuckers jumping on him, 3 or 4 motherfuckers jumping on his homeboy, 3 or 4 motherfuckers jumping on. So anyway, he trying to fight all 3, 4 motherfuckers. He trying to save his homeboy and shit from going down. His homie's trying to save him. And they trying to fight off all these motherfuckers and shit. So he said he knocking him. He knocking him and they getting him. He said he knocked one motherfucker and he bombing on him, boom. And he said he not knowing when he fighting off one motherfucker, but he not knowing another motherfucker coming from behind and is start plugging him. And he thinking he just hitting him in the back. But dude was every time he swung and was swinging that dude was hitting him in the back. And he said, and he showed me the scar. He lifted up his shirt like, that nigga had like a good 12 to 15 holes like this. Just boom, boom. And it was crazy because they were like directly on both sides of it going up and down his spine. Like it wasn't way over here and way over there, all over. Nah, it was like right around his spine going like about a foot. It was about a foot worth of stab wounds, and it was going like on left and right of his spine and shit all the way up. And he said every time he swung, the motherfucker was hitting him from the back, boom. And he just said, dude was giving it. But he not feeling it. He still, that adrenaline going and shit. He said I want to say, this is a long time ago, I want to say he was either knocked out or the blood just was, so he passes out. And that's what he remember and shit, but Somehow he made it out of it, but that's all he remembered. He said, dude, he was swinging off. He knocked one motherfucker, boom. It was like on top of his kid or some shit. He get on hand, then he fighting off from another motherfucker. And then at the same time, dude from the back was just, giving it to him. I was like, man. So that's why they called his ass Survivor. Because he lived through that shit. I was like, man. And when he showed me the scars, I was like, they were still fresh too. Like, nigga, I was like, yo, dude was trying to really paralyze you and kill you, homie. Trying to hit you in your lungs or something. Anyway, that's the homie Survivor, man. If you see this, man, shout out to you, man. Get at me and shit.